Let's implement the profile image URL, which is this right here. So it's gonna do something similar to this. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this and paste it here. The only difference is instead of the default user image path, this is gonna be the user image path. So it's gonna be user image path, and then we're gonna take in the username, and then we're gonna add /. So /, and then we're gonna add in the dot and then the extension with the username. So again, we're gonna do plus username, and then we're gonna add in the actual dot. So we're gonna do dot, and then we're gonna add in the extension, and that's going to be right here. Copy this and paste it here. So this is going to return the actual string, which is the location of the image, so that we can point to that location whenever we fetching that information. So when we load the user, we're going to set this image on the user, and then we set the string for that location of the image, and then point to that location whenever we need to read that image. So let's make sure we got everything correct. So that looks good, looking good. I'm just checking, make sure that we're not missing anything. So this looks good. And we can also pass in the directory that's created. So we can go here and add the directory here, so that we know exactly what directory is created. And this is all fine and looking good. Let's see. So this is supposed to be update with lowercase. So let's just go ahead. Oops. Let's go ahead and change that. So that's going to be u lowercase update. So this is going to give us an error because it's not going to find that in the user service. So we're just going to have to go in here and then fix this one right here. And that should go away. And let's see. But we're also missing the permissions or authorities. So just copy this line and paste it here. So from the role, we're going to get the name, and then from that same role, which is passed in this function, we're going to get the actual authorities or permissions. And that's not going to be user, that's going to be the current user right here. So that looks good. Yeah, so I think we're pretty much done here. We might come back here later, like if we want to modify something, maybe later in the UI, we realize that, there's something that would work in a different way better. So we can come in here and then, modify the code or refactor or whatever we need to do. But for now, this is looking good. So, again, if anything is wrong, we can always come back and then change it. And this is supposed to be current user, so I'm going to refactor this. Refactor, rename. So let's change this to uppercase U. Current user, like this. It's supposed to be uppercase because we're using the camel case. Oops, I got 3 R's in here. Rename. Remove 1, enter, and that should do it. So the next step would be to create the functionalities and the controller, because right now we're all the way inside the application. We're like inside the user service implementation. So we need to expose all of these functionalities that we just created, and we have to do that in the resource or the controller. So that we can expose those functionalities, because right now they're not exposed. So if we go back into the resource, so if we go in here, you can see that we only have login, register. Okay, we don't have anything for like delete the user or update the image or anything like that. So we have to create the connection between the controller and the actual service implementation, which is what we're doing here by calling the service and then calling the functions or methods on the service. So we have to finish this resource. So that's what we're going to be doing next. And again, we can come back here and modify thing. You can come in here and make changes if you want and refactor a thing. but for now, it should work pretty much fine for you. So, there's always going to be room for improvement because this is a software development. The requirements are going to change and the users are going to want other things and different things, and they're going to just always have new requirements. So you're always going to have something to come in and change. That's the whole point of being a software developer, because the requirements are always changing. And that's not because the customers are like bad people. It's just the way the industry is. The things are just changing all the time, and they have to keep going back to you and then asking you to make changes in the software itself. I see that I'm using this here, so I don't really need this. So I'm just going to copy this here because I'm not using this password anywhere else, encoded password. So I can just edit here and then remove this. So, and again, we can have like a factory that can put all of this together. Like you can see how I'm doing this and in here, and then I'm doing it here, and I'm doing it here. So we can definitely refactor this like super easy. I just didn't want to do it so that I can give you guys an assignment. So you can try to refactor these, and it's going to be pretty simple. So you're going to have one of those methods, and then you're just going to have some if statement. You say, if I get this piece of information, then I know I'm dealing with update scenario, then I go this route. If I don't, then I'm dealing with add a new user, and etc. And you can put this in as well. So if you say, hey, if this is empty and I don't have any Boolean value for the is active or whatever, then I know I'm dealing with like a register, and then I'll take the register route. So that should be pretty easy. You can try to do it as an assignment, and we're gonna continue, make sure this application is up and running, and it looks pretty good right now. If you guys have any ideas as well, I'm willing to accept anything you might want to add. Any new features you might think might be good, you can go ahead and add that as well, just for your own practice. But at least at this point, we should be ready to move on to the resource and then finish that up. And then once we finish that up, then we can go ahead and test everything, like test all the functionalities using Postman. And I'm going to talk a little bit more again about testing, because this is a very important part of software development. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about it.